There is an immensely diverse student body at Epic Flight Academy. We have proudly accepted students from over 80 countries. For our international students to arrive on campus, they need to apply for an M-1 visa. The M-1 visa is a type of student visa reserved for vocational and technical schools. International students must present a signed Form I-20 at a United States embassy or consulate in their home country. This form is typically issued by the International Student Advisor. After the student has fulfilled the school's admission requirements and presented proof of financial resources. M-1 students are admitted into the United States for a fixed time period. When they cross the border, their I-94 departure cards are stamped with a date, unlike students with an F-1 visa. Students in M-1 status may not work on or off campus while studying, and they may not change their status to F-1. On an M-1 visa, you may do the following. Enter the United States as a full-time vocational or non-academic student. Transfer from one school to another, provided the course of study remains the same. Travel in and out of the United States for short periods of time. Apply for M-2 visas for dependents accompanying you to the United States. Now that you know what you can do with an M-1 visa, here are some things you can't do. You cannot enter with an M-1 visa to study generally. Your program must have a goal and you must be involved in a full course of study. You are not permitted to work during your studies. You may transfer from one school to another within certain time parameters and only with the permission of the Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Your dependents may enter the country but are not permitted to work. Once you are 6 months into the program of study, you are prohibited from changing your course of study except under truly exceptional circumstances. How long can I stay in the United States on an M-1 visa? You can stay in the United States on an M-1 visa for 1 year or as long as you are enrolled as a full-time student in a vocational program. While on an M-1 visa, you may remain in the U.S. for up to 30 days after the completion of your study program, or in total 1 year from your date of admission. If you wish to remain longer, you will be required to apply for a change of status from M-1 to B-2 with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Can I bring my dependents on my M-1 visa? Yes, your spouse and unmarried children under 21 years of age may come with you to the United States on an M-2 non-immigrant visa. How do you file an M-1 visa? The M-1 student must apply for a program extension by filing a Form I-539 with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. An M-1 student must send the updated Form I-20, which shows the recent SEVIS extension request with the application. They can file this up to 60 days before their program end date, but no later than 15 days before the program end date listed on the Form I-20. An M-1 student who needs to apply for an extension to begin practical training needs to apply for work authorization from the USCIS at the same time they file for their extension. M-1 students should work closely with their DSO to file both applications. How do I qualify for an M-1 student visa? To qualify for an M-1 vocational student visa, you first must have been accepted at a school that has received advanced approval from the U.S. government, such as Epic Flight Academy. You must be coming to the U.S. as an enrolled student pursuing a full course of study. That means you must attend between 18 and 22 hours per week. Your intended school program must lead to a vocational objective, such as a flight certificate. You must also already be accepted by the school of your choice and have enough money to study full-time without working. Finally, in addition to proving that you have the necessary background and financial capability to pursue your studies, you must prove that you intend to return to your home country when your program is over. If your goal is to take up permanent residence in the U.S. when your visa runs out, you are not legally eligible for an M-1 visa. Can I work on an M-1 visa? No, you may not work on an M-1 visa. However, you may apply for practical training after you complete your studies. If approved, you will be allowed to have 1 month of practical training for every 4 months of study you have completed. You will be limited to 6 months total practical training time. Can I apply for an extension on my M-1 visa? Yes, you may apply for an extension of stay on M-1 visas 45 days prior to the completion of your studies. Epic Flight Academy is proud to provide opportunities to as many pilots as we can. Opening our doors to the world gives more opportunities for professional pilots from around the world to pursue their dreams of flying. We hope that this video makes the process of acquiring an M-1 visa a little less intimidating. Epic staff is ready to help you through the process of acquiring your visa and looks forward to having you arrive on campus.